Good morning, my friends. It is Kevin at 7. Thank you for joining me, where we talk about how to find your superpowers in your business and fulfill your purpose in life. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to talk about how to keep your commitments. How do I become more committed? How do I make a commitment and actually do what I say I'm going to do? So thank you for joining me. Right here is the first step. Go Pro. It's a t-shirt one of my coaching members, or two of my coaching members, got for us. I thought I would wear it today, because if you want to be more committed, you got to be willing to commit to live your life and play your game, your business, whatever it is, at the same level that a true professional would do it. So good morning, everybody. Welcome. As you come on, tell me where you are in the world. Those of you that are joining me on YouTube, thank you. Glad to see you guys. Hey, Waylon from Colorado Springs. Awesome. Karzla, good morning from Las Vegas. Good to see all of you guys. Good morning, Kathleen from Riverside, California. Great to see all of you here today. When I was in, I don't know, 6th grade, I think. I was in Boy Scouts. I think it was 6th grade. I was in Boy Scouts. Ralph Armstrong was the scout master. He was our scout leader. And he was kind of a nerd. He was kind of a geek. But he knew he'd been in the Army, and he knew a lot of cool stuff. Like, he knew how to sharpen a knife, a pocket knife. He could sharpen a pocket knife so sharp that, I mean, literally you could shave with it. I mean, effortlessly. He would hold a tomato in his hand like this with his pocket knife, and he would slice the tomato like that with his pocket knife. It was like unbelievable how sharp he could get a pocket knife. It was cool. Well, he wanted us to go on we were going to Boy Scout camp that summer. And there was about 15 of us, 15 or 20 of us in the Boy Scout troop that were going. Hey, good morning, Chris from Highland Ranch, Colorado. Good to see all you guys. Good morning. Welcome. As you come on, tell me where you are in the world today. And make sure you give the post a thumbs up. Share this if you know somebody that needs to be more committed, that makes promises and doesn't keep them, that starts stuff and doesn't finish it. That's what we're talking about. How do you do that? And so Mr. Armstrong decided we were going to hike from Anson, Texas to Buffalo Gap to the Boy Scout camp, which was about 25 miles. It was a 25-mile hike. And I think it's 23 miles, something like that. We were going to hike. And so a couple weekends before, we went out, we got our backpacks, loaded them up with stuff, and then we went on a day hike just to kind of get used to hiking and make sure that you had shoes that wouldn't give your feet blisters and all that. And my shoes gave me blisters. So good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you give us a thumbs up. Share this post. Hearts. I love hearts. Thumbs up. I love it all. If you're with me in this conversation. So we went on our day hikes, and then the day came, and we were going to leave on a Saturday morning, and we were going to hike all day for Saturday. We were going to hike for about 15 miles, and then we're going to camp that night in a place that we had set up. We were going to camp that night. And the next morning, get up and hike the rest of the way, the last 8 or 9 miles, into the Boy Scout camp. And then we would spend a week at Boy Scout camp. So this was kind of like there was all the buzz going on about it. We were all excited about it. And Mr. Armstrong, our scoutmaster, had told all his other scoutmaster friends from all the area that were coming. He was making a big deal about we were going to do this. So we were like the talk of the camp, and it was just like awesome. So we started on Saturday morning. We actually were supposed to start like at 7 o'clock in the morning. We actually didn't start till like 9 or 10 in the morning because of some drama. I don't remember what it was. I just remember we got off to a late start. And by that evening, we were all, everybody's griping and complaining. They had blisters and they were tired and their backs were hurting from carrying the backpacks all day. And so that evening we we found a pasture off, because we're hiking through the country. I mean, it was a farm to market road, which is a paved road in Texas. That's kind of like a little highway and not a lot of traffic. But we found a pasture over there. We decided, okay, we're going to camp out there in the field. Now, there was a big tree, so we had shade. I guess you need shade at night. But anyway, we camped out. And for some reason that night, everybody was griping and complaining. And I don't remember anything except this, and that is that we decided to quit. We decided to give it up. And we did. We quit. And so my parents we had a motorhome. So my parents came out, drove out from our house in Anson, out in the country, from our farm, and picked everybody up, went home. And then the next day, we all loaded up in the motorhome, and we went to Boy Scout camp. And when we got to Boy Scout camp, we're like, oh, cool, it's Boy Scout camp. We didn't do the hike, but we're here. So we got checked in. We went and set up our camp, and you're assigned an area for your troop, and you have all these tents, and that's our thing. And so as we were getting set up and we're hanging out, and other Boy Scout troops from all over the country, or all over the state are getting set up, and they're coming around, and they start hearing that we're there. And every time we meet another Boy Scout or group of guys from another thing, they're all coming in. They're like, hey, how's it going, man? We heard you guys hiked in, and it was, man, how was it? And they're all excited about us hiking in. And we're like, we quit. We didn't do it. And I just remember feeling so ashamed that we quit. But we quit. That's what we did. And I look back at my life, and that was the pattern of much of my life. And that was when something got hard, we quit. Now, let me find out right now, has this been a pattern for you? If your life pattern has been that you were allowed, as a kid, I was allowed to quit stuff. Now, they would discourage it, are you sure, and all this. But if I didn't want to do it, my parents would never force me to do stuff. They would never force, and I don't mean like make me do something I didn't want to do. I mean, they would require me to keep my commitments. They wouldn't. They would let me out. They would let me off the hook, and they'd let me quit stuff. I want to hear from you guys. Were you allowed to quit? If you were allowed to quit, just put yes or no. I'm curious what your experience was. Were you allowed by your parents to quit stuff? Or that you grew up with a pattern of being able to quit? Now, I'm going to have if you're struggling with this and wondering, well, you should be able to quit. And I'm going to say no, because when I look at people who are great achievers, the one thing that they learned somewhere, somehow, whether it was from childhood, whether it was from their parents or a mentor or someone, they were not allowed to quit. And there is a book called The Gold Mine Effect by Eric Rasmussen. I think that's his name. It's called The Gold Mine Effect. So you can look up the book, The Gold Mine Effect, where he studies people who are the greatest in the world at what they do, the people that are best in the world. And one of the things that he observes across the planet, across the spectrum of high achievers is that when they were young, their parents would not allow them to quit stuff. Because a child does not know automatically how to exercise discipline and tenacity and relentlessness and perseverance. They don't have that ingrained in them any more than they know how to go to the bathroom. In other words, a child does not automatically grow, is born potty trained, right? They don't know how to brush their teeth. They don't know how to get dressed. They have to be taught how to do this. Well, it turns out you actually have to be taught how to achieve at a high level, how to handle adversity, how to go through discouragement, how to go through struggle. You actually have to be taught. Figure that. You actually have to be taught how to go through something and win. Thank you, guys. So were you allowed to quit? Were you allowed to flake out? Now I'm seeing a lot of yeses. I'm also seeing some no's. Awesome. Good. Now I am going to bet. I was not encouraged. I was discouraged from it. Good. Well, I was discouraged from it, but it was still allowed to do it. And I bet it shows up in your life because it showed up in my life. Good morning, Judy T. Good morning, April. Good to see all you guys this morning. Broderick, Janice, Tanika, thank you. Matthew, yes, my parents allowed me to do it too, Tanika. That's just the way it went. And it took me years. I look back now over my life and I look at how many things in my life. Matt, hell, I was allowed to quit soccer as a kid. I quit my basketball team my senior year because the coach didn't like me. And basketball was my dream. It was not my hobby. It was not something I did for fun. It was my life. It was like, this was my purpose in life, was I was going to play college basketball. I was just like, I was committed until I ran into adversity. And when I ran into adversity, boom, quit. So one of the greatest struggles of my life was, how do I become more committed? How do you become more committed? And I have fought myself and tons of inner demons and bullies in my own life, both external and internal, to get to a point where I will not quit. I will not quit. I actually took up, last summer, I actually went on with a group of friends. We went on a 55-mile hike on Catalina Island, which is in extremely difficult terrain where it is ruthlessly steep, ups and downs, and on fire roads and single track trails. It's insane. And went with a full backpack, including your tent, your sleeping bag, everything, your food, water, everything, carried it for 4 days, 55 miles in 4 days. I did it for one reason. I wanted to prove to myself that I would not quit, because I still have this memory of the backpacking trip we took in Boy Scouts, and we quit because it got hard and we got tired and we got blisters. And I didn't quit. I started doing trail running and doing these half marathons, now trail marathon. Now I'm going to do an ultra marathon in June. For one, it gets me in shape. I like the exercise. It's great. I love trail running. But most importantly for me is to prove to myself I will not quit, and to train myself that when I commit to something, I fulfill on my commitment and I don't quit. You either go through life quitting or you go through life committing. You quit or you commit. And so many of us, we make a commitment and then we quit right after it. I love this. Paul Murphy, there's no way I could quit baseball. My dad met Babe 3 times and we could go to any vacation spot as long as it was Cooperstown, New York. More committed when you hear the bullets buzzing past your head, Paul Murphy. Yeah. So let's talk about now, how do you become more committed? If you quit, if when the going gets tough, you quit, you're not going to have the goals, accomplish the goals you want to have. You're not going to accomplish your dreams. You're not going to have the lifestyle you want, period. So how do I get more committed? Because I've coached thousands and thousands of real estate agents. I've observed thousands and thousands of real estate agents and people in general, business people, just every walk of life. And I see in our world that most people do not know how to keep commitment. Look at the divorce rate. Guys, I quit 2 marriages. Quit 2 marriages. Why I quit is not the key, is not the point. The point is I quit them, 2 of them. Quitter. That's what I was. I quit stuff. When it got tough, I quit. Now, is there ever a time where you should quit something? And the answer is yes, there is a time when you should quit something. If you're smoking, you should quit. If you're eating crap every day, you should quit. If it's something that's destroying your life or destroying your body, you should quit. All right. So I'm not saying you never quit, but what I'm saying is don't quit because it gets hard. How do you keep your commitments? I'm going to give you 5 steps in 5 minutes on how do you keep your commitment. How do you become more committed and learn to keep your commitments and not quit? Good morning, Diana from Travelers Rest. Good to see all of you guys. Thank you for joining me. Thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks for the hearts. Keep them coming as we cover the 5 steps to becoming more committed. Number one is why. Why is this commitment worth doing? Is it worth dying for? So before you make a commitment, ask yourself, is this really worth me investing my word into it? Is it worth me making the commitment, or am I just kind of at the moment feeling like, oh, I want to do that, and I commit, and then later I have buyer's remorse and go like, I should not have committed. I knew got excited and I signed up for this thing, or I said I was going to do it, and then I didn't do it. How many times have you done that? Because you didn't have a clear why of like, I have to do this. Vince Lombardi used to show up first day of football practice every year, and he would introduce it and say, this is a football, and he started with that. But then we got out of the field, he would say, gentlemen, I came here to die. Did you? That, my friends, is commitment. So first, there's got to be a big enough why. Thank you, Dean Kessler. There's got to be a big enough why that you're like, I am in. It's worth committing to. It's worth sweat. It's worth blood. It's worth tears. It's worth time. It's worth the effort. Am I willing to invest it? Is the reason for doing it big enough? So number one is you got to be clear about your why am I doing it? If it's not a hell yes, I have to do this, it should be a hell no, I'm not going to do it. You've got to, if you're going to commit, make sure it's worthy of your word, that it's worthy of your commitment. Number 2 is you have to declare it. You have to say to yourself, to the world, to the universe, I'm in, I'm all in. And you can't go in being a secret agent. You can't go in being kind of committed. It's the number one reason real estate agents fail is they go in and they're going to try real estate. If you're going to do real estate, you need to know why you're doing it, number one. And number two, you got to go all in. You got to declare, I will succeed at this. I will make this happen. I will make this work. I will do it, period. I'm not going to try it. I'm not going to do everything I can. I'm going to do everything it takes to succeed at it. You declare it. Just like Vince Lombardi, gentlemen, I came to die. That's his declaration. Is that I'm going to leave everything on the field. 100% commitment. No reserves, no regrets. Number three is you got to put skin in the game. You put skin in the game. And that is you actually have to invest something. You have to invest time. You have to invest money. You have to invest resources. You've got to invest your word. You've got to invest something in it. When I do, so I have the program that I do, the coaching program that a lot of you hear about is called the 100-Day List Master Challenge. We just started one last week. We just started it last Wednesday. Well, last Thursday was day one of the 100-Day Challenge. And it's 100 days. It's this thing right here, the 100-Day List Master Challenge. And it's $5,000 to do it. And people go like, that's a lot. It's a heck of a lot of money, $5,000. And I'm going to tell you why I charge that amount. One, because of the amount of effort what I invest in it. It takes a ton of my time and effort, and it's a lot of work. So one, I deserve $5,000 per person, no question about it. But I could do it for less. Why $5,000? Here's the reason. I'm going to tell you right up, we used to charge $2,000 for the challenge. $2,000. Now there's a little bit more that you get now than you got then, but the reason I raised it from $2,000 to $5,000, and no, it's never going back down, it may go up again, is because when I charged $5,000, the level of commitment was higher. Because to be in it, you had to put more skin in the game. What I discovered was there were agents out there that they just had a closing, they had some extra cash, $2,000, no big deal. They would literally invest $2,000 and then they would flake from day one. So I'm like, I'm not going to have that. And I'm going to make them put enough skin in the game, enough pain. There's enough leverage that if they don't do it, there's pain. And so we raised the commitment. That's why I may raise it again. We'll see. But investment, I love it. Ani says investment is not an expense. And he's right. Investment gives you a return on investment. So you go all in, you put skin in the game, whether it's money, time, accountability, whatever it is, you got to put skin in the game. Number four is then you must have a support structure to help hold you to your commitment. Now, whether that's a schedule can help you hold you, give you support, a structure for what am I going to do to keep my commitment today? I mean, it could be something as simple as a schedule, as an alarm, an alert. I have at 10 minutes before 7 a.m. every morning, my alarm reminds me 10 minutes from now, you're going live. Okay. I just don't want to get caught up in something. I'm reading a book or I'm watching a video or I'm writing notes and I forget that, oh crap, it's 7:05 I missed. So at 7 o'clock, I have an alarm that goes off. It is my support structure to help me not forget that. Okay, I have an assistant, my assistant Elena, that is way more than an assistant, but one of her number one jobs is to keep me on track, to keep me on schedule, to give me support to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing every day. So number 4 is your support structure. And then number 5 is relentlessness. You must develop the character of resiliency, of get back up when you get knocked down. Make sense? And that is because if you're going to commit to something, if it's worth committing to it, there is going to be adversity. There is going to be turbulence. There is going to be obstacles. There are going to be things that are going to knock you on your butt. And that, my friends, is when we quit. Most of us that quit, we quit when it gets hard, and it gets harder than we expected. And this, I hear it so much. It's like, it's so hard. Well, did anybody ever promise you that life was going to be easy? Now, I get it that there's a whole pop culture out there in America that is trying to make life easy for everybody. We don't want to get your feelings hurt. We don't want you to have to sweat. We don't want you to have to struggle. So everything is about making your life easier. And the easier our lives have become, the more complacent, the more sedentary, the more sedated, the more tranquilized more passive we have become. We can, thank you, Tom Elkins, we can do hard things. You must do hard things. Hard things are what make you stronger. And when you commit, you got to be willing to do that. So why? Number one, I got to have a why. Number two, you got to make a declaration. Okay, share this thing, guys. Deborah Rocky, snowflakes. Snowflakes are not powerful, my friends. Number three is you got to put skin in the game. Number four is have a support structure. And number five is you have to have a relentless attitude that says, I will not quit. I will not stop. I will not be denied. Whatever it takes is the attitude. And that you must, my friends, develop over time, over and over and over and over again, and put yourselves in positions where you stretch your commitment muscle. And the more you do it, the more you commit and strengthen your commitment muscle, wow, the stronger you become. And the easier it becomes to stay committed. All right, guys, you're awesome. Thanks for the thumbs up. Are you committed? If you're committed, say yes. I'm going to just end it with this. I want you to declare right now to the universe, whatever it is. Thank you, Tom Elkins, for the summary there. That's awesome. I want you to declare that whatever is important to you today, are you committed? If you're committed, say yes. I love yes. Become a yes master, a master at getting yes and a master at saying yes to the right things. Yes. Thank you, guys. Awesome. Awesome. And when you live with that commitment, not only do you say yes to yourself and can you say yes to your dreams, but when you talk to other people, you can always expect yes. That's it. Have a great day. Play to win. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, 7. Kevin at 7. Thanks again for your attention. Thanks for your feedback. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you guys tomorrow.